The bedroom door slammed so hard the framed wedding photo on the dresser jumped, glass cracking in a spiderweb that split my smiling face in two. Legs closed today, don't insist. Sarah's voice cracked like a whip, raw, exhausted, final. I stood frozen in the hallway, hand still on the knob, the echo of her words slicing through the air thicker than the perfume she'd worn for someone else. I'd come home early, too early, carrying takeout from the Thai place we used to fight over because she hated cilantro and I drowned everything in it. The plan had been simple. Surprise her, coax her out of the funk she'd worn like a second skin for weeks, maybe laugh until the distance between us shrank. Instead I found her on the couch, phone clutched to her chest, eyes red-rimmed, the screen still glowing with a name I didn't recognize. She'd startled, shoved the phone under a cushion and snapped, "What are you doing sneaking in here?" Sneaking? In my own house. That night I lay beside her, the mattress a continent. She faced the wall. I stared at the ceiling, counting the slow revolutions of the fan. Every click of the blades sounded like a countdown. When her breathing finally evened out, I slipped from the bed, barefoot, heart hammering loud enough to wake the neighbors. The phone was still under the cushion. Passcode, our anniversary. Of course it hadn't changed. People who think they're clever rarely think to update the locks on the doors they're sneaking through. The messages unrolled like a carpet of broken glass. "Can't wait to taste you again. Your husband's still clueless? Tell him you're with Lisa. Works every time." Each line landed heavier than the last, until my lungs forgot how to pull in air. There were photos, her lips on a collarbone that wasn't mine. Her fingers tangled in hair the color of winter wheat. A hotel keycard. A heart emoji. A promise for tomorrow night. I sat on the living room floor until the sky beyond the blinds turned the color of old bruises. When Sarah patted in at dawn, hair wild, voice soft with sleep, she said, "You're up early." I looked at her, really looked. The faint mark on her neck I dismissed as a curling iron burn. The way she wouldn't meet my eyes. The lie already forming behind her teeth. "Coffee?" she asked, reaching for the pot. "Wallet closed, don't insist," I said. The words came out flat, almost gentle, but they stopped her mid-motion. The carafe trembled in her hand. She turned slowly. "What did you say?" "You heard me." I stood, the phone heavy in my pocket like a loaded gun. "I saw everything, Sarah. The texts. The pictures. The Lisa cover story you've been recycling since August." Her face drained of color so fast I thought she might faint. It's not what you think. Really." My laugh scraped my throat raw. "Because it looks exactly like what I think. It looks like Tuesday nights at the Marriott on 5th. It looks like you telling him you love him, while I'm at home microwaving leftovers for one." She sank onto a bar stool, hands twisting in her lap. "I was going to end it." "When?" "After the holidays. I didn't want to ruin." "Ruin what?" "Christmas morning with your family, while you're texting him under the table? Our anniversary trip you booked with miles I earned." My voice cracked on the last word and I hated it. Hated the tears burning behind my eyes. Hated that even now, after everything, I wanted her to say something, anything that could stitch the tear in my chest. She started crying, the kind of crying that's half performance, half panic. "You don't understand how lonely I've been. You're always at the office, always tired, always." "Always what?" "Providing. Always trusting you." I pulled the phone from my pocket, turned it so she could see the screen. A new message had come in while we spoke. "Miss you already. Same time tonight?" Her sob hitched. "Turn it off." "No. You don't get to hide anymore." I scrolled slowly, deliberately, reading aloud the pet names, the inside jokes, the plans for a weekend in Napa I'd once begged her to take with me. Each word flayed me open, but I kept going because the pain was proof I was still alive. When I finished, the kitchen was silent except for the drip of the coffee maker. Sarah's shoulders shook. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't unsend the pictures. Sorry doesn't erase the nights I waited up wondering why my wife flinched when I touched her." I set the phone on the counter between us like evidence in a trial. "I want you out by noon." She looked up, mascara streaking. "This is my home too." "Not anymore." I walked to the bedroom, pulled her suitcase from the closet, the one we'd bought for our honeymoon, and started filling it with her clothes. She followed, pleading, grabbing my arm. I shook her off. The scent of her perfume, jasmine and betrayal, made my stomach lurch. When the suitcase was full, I zipped it shut and set it by the door. "Keys," I said. She fumbled them from her purse, hands trembling so badly she dropped them twice. I picked them up, removed the house key, and pressed the rest into her palm. "Call your mother. Call Lisa. Call him. I don't care. Just don't be here when I get back." I left before she could answer, before I could see the moment her face crumpled completely. The drive to nowhere lasted hours, past the park where we'd had our first kiss, past the diner where I'd proposed with a ring pop because the real one was still on layaway. I pulled over on a gravel road and screamed until my throat bled, punched the steering wheel until my knuckles split. Then I sat in the silence and let the truth settle. The woman I'd built my life around had been erasing me, one secret at a time. By dusk I returned. The house was empty, her suitcase gone. On the kitchen counter lay the cracked wedding photo, our faces bisected by the fracture. Beneath it, a note in her handwriting. "I never meant to break us. I just didn't know how to fix me." I crumpled the paper, but I didn't throw it away. Some wounds you keep, if only to remind yourself they were real. That night I slept on the couch, the wallet on the coffee table beside me. Closed finally on a future that no longer existed. Outside the city hummed on, indifferent. Inside the silence was deafening, but for the first time in months it was mine alone.